Welcome to 21st Sports 2015 Season Preview for the Atlanta Falcons. We're going to go over the roster and we're going to go over the regular season schedule and make predictions for every single game. But let's start off with the roster. In under center, the quarterback Matt Ryan, Matty Ice. Last year he had 4,694 yards and 28 touchdowns. He did have 14 interceptions. It's double digits, but he had twice as many touchdowns. So Matt Ryan coming off a pretty good season, although the Falcons did struggle. And he didn't have a lot of protection last year. You know, they got to hope to shore up that offensive line to give him more time. Of course, one thing that should help is that they did draft Tevin Coleman, the rookie out of Indiana, and he should be pretty productive this year. They still got Donta Freeman. You know, he showed some flashes last year. This Freeman, he had 248 yards, just 65 touches. He only averaged 3.8, but at times he did look good, so he should get more touches this year, and it should be him and Coleman splitting the load, although Coleman should be the feature. Then you got Patrick DeMarco at fullback, and really where this team shines is their passing attack, led by Matt Ryan, and of course the receivers, Julio Jones and Roddy White. It's really like having two number ones. Roddy White is a number one on a lot of teams, and then Julio Jones is like on a whole nother level. He's a Pro Bowl caliber receiver for sure. He's one of the top receivers in all of football. And then at tight end you have Jacob Tamme. And Tamme, he's getting up there a little bit, but he's capable of catching the ball and making some plays. He's a big guy. And then you got Levine Toilolo. I actually thought Lolo is alright. It'd be interesting to see how he progresses this year as he's entering his third year and how they work him in. They had him a lot of times helping out, you know, even playing like tackle on some games is how depleted their line has been over the last couple of years. And of course, the biggest change on this team is their head coach, Dan Quinn. He's a defensive coordinator from the Seattle Seahawks. He had a lot of success there, and that's really been a weakness for the Falcons, has been their defense. So it'll be interesting to see how he has this unit playing. But let's go over the defense. And on their defense, you know, they struggle on their pass rush and getting after the quarterback, but they did make some strides towards fixing that, starting out by drafting Vic Beasley Jr. out of Clemson up on the defensive line at end. Then you have Tyson Jackson on the other end, and Rashid Hagman and Paul Sly in the middle at tackle. And they also brought in a couple of linebackers, Justin Durant and O'Brien Schofield, both on the outside respectively. And then you got Paul Warlow in the middle. And I like Durant and Schofield. Durant from the Cowboys, Schofield from the Seattle Seahawks. And they were the NFC champs the last couple years. He's been in the last couple Super Bowls, so he's gotten that experience. I think he really shined over there in Seattle. Of course, the way Seattle plays a lot of substitution, so it'll be interesting to see how, you know, he steps up in Atlanta when they're going to ask him to do a little bit more. Said in Seattle, they do so much substitution, have so much depth. But I think Schofield, though, is a really good player. I think that's a really good addition to their defense, along with Durant. And the secondary is pretty much the same. You got Robert Alford and Desmond Trufant on the corners. They're both very capable, talented corners. They got Ricardo Allen and William Moore as the safeties. So they made some improvements on their defense. Yeah, but the thing is they gotta. It really kind of starts with their run game, and if they can eat up time of possession and keep their defense fresh. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see what Beasley Jr. does here in his rookie campaign. With those new linebackers, they should be better than they were last year, and they should improve upon one of the worst pass rushes. So they have nowhere to go but up in that case. Then we go to special teams, and special teams is it's like one thing that they got. I mean, they got the Hall of Famer Devin Hester returning kicks and punts, who's always a threat to take it to the house. And they got Matt Bryant doing the kicks, and he is one of the better kickers in the league. And then you got Matt Bosher as the punter. He's a capable punter as well. So that's how the roster breaks down. Let's look at their regular season schedule. and give our predictions for all the games. So week 1, September 14th, 7 o'clock kickoff on Monday Night Football against the Eagles. And with this game, I got to go with Philadelphia just because the Eagles are going to put up so many points. This game could see a lot of points on both sides. We could see them, easily going over 50 total points. I wouldn't be shocked to see if these two teams combine for like 70 plus in this game right here. But it's just the Eagles are a team that is ready right now, and the Falcons are a team that's still kind of finding its, identity, still trying to come together, especially on defense. They've got some new additions, and they have to establish a run game. If they can establish a run game, that passing attack is freaking dangerous for the Falcons, and maybe they could pull off a surprise, but I gotta go with Philly. So week 2, September 20th, 1 o'clock kickoff in New York against the Giants. And on the road, the Falcons struggle, especially they've had those troubles, protecting Matt Ryan, and also having troubles opening up holes. Of course, we'll see how Coleman can do. I got to go with the Giants in this one, although the Falcons could win this one. It's just, going to come down to who puts more points on the scoreboard. It always does, right? But it'll be more of an offensive battle in that game. So on September 27th, week 3, back on the road, they're in Dallas against the Cowboys, the second straight week having a road game against an NFC East opponent. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. Of course, all these times are Eastern, as the Falcons are in the Eastern time zone. But so yeah, in Dallas, I have the Cowboys win this game, but I would not be at all surprised if the Falcons could pull this off. The Falcons got a lot of these games where I'm picking them to lose that I wouldn't be surprised to see them win. And the Falcons are a team that, they could win their division. The division's wide open, but they're going to have to show and prove. So in week 4, October 4th, 1 o'clock kickoff back home, this time against the Texans, the second straight week where they're going against the opponent from the state of Texas, is they're going to be hosting the Texans this week after having traveled to Dallas to face the Cowboys. And I have them losing this game. It is at home, though, so maybe they can actually pull this one out. Even though I have the Texans because I just think their defense is so tough, and if they can get things going on offense, but that is a question. So it's kind of like a reverse thing here where the Texans are solid on D, but they have questions on offense, and the Falcons, they're pretty good on offense, except for the question mark with up front, which is really where everything starts. But then their defense is questionable, so I wouldn't be shocked to see the Falcons pull that one off, but I got the Texans. So it starts off with a rough start at 0-4. Like I said, in this division, though, we saw last year the Panthers took it with a losing record. And if they can win any of these first 4 games, that'll help out a lot, towards even making a run for the NFC South title. It's really going to come down to the back end of the schedule when they start playing their division rivals. But in week 5, October 11th, 1 o'clock kickoff, a second straight home game, this one against the Redskins, and I believe that they will win this game and get into the win column if they hadn't already. So in week 6, prime time for the second time this year, October 15th, a Thursday night game, 8:25 kickoff. They're going to New Orleans to face the Saints, their first division rivalry game. And in New Orleans, the Saints are just so tough. I got to give them the edge in this one. But either way, they play each other really tough. They see each other twice a year. They're very familiar with each other, obviously. But in New Orleans, the Saints, I give them the slight edge. So in week 7, October 25th, 1 o'clock, they're going to Tennessee to face the Titans. And I have them beating the Titans. The Titans, they're in a growing phase is how I see them. And the Falcons, they said they're a team that is on the verge of success. The last couple years, even last year, I thought they were going to win the South. This year, I don't have them win the South, but initially I was kind of leaning towards the Falcons, but then I actually kind of pulled back from that. So I would not be at all surprised to see them finally get things going and actually make the run, and they shouldn't have much trouble, beating the Titans, although it is in Tennessee. Then Week 8, November 1st, back home. This one against the Buccaneers, their second division rivalry game of the year. The first time seeing the Bucs, and it's in Atlanta. I have the Bucs winning this one, but in Atlanta, like I said, a lot of these games I officially picked them the other way, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them going, to actually have them win them. And it's kind of a toss-up with a lot of these games. So, I mean, they started stringing some wins together. They start winning these games that I have them losing. That's going to go a long way towards winning their division. And especially if they can pull off this game against the Bucs. And it is at home, so they really do have a real chance at winning that one. Although, like I said, I officially picked the Bucs. But with the Falcons, if they can get some good play up front in the line on both sides of the ball in the trenches, then they should win a lot more of these games than I have them projected to win. But that is the question, though, is how is their play going to be up front in the trenches on the offensive line and defensive line? Those are some big question marks, because that's really where games are won and lost. But Week 9, November 8th, 4 o'clock kickoff in San Francisco. I have them beating the Niners. The Niners are going to be a team in turmoil, and the Falcons should take advantage of that and light them up for a bunch of points. Julio should have a big week there. And that leads us to the bye week, Week 10. And coming out of the bye week, Week 11, November 22nd, 1 o'clock kickoff at home against the Colts. And it's a tough game right here against the Colts. And it's going to be a shootout. This is going to be a game that's kind of mirror the Eagles game in Week 1. But I got the Colts winning this one. There's, like I said, the Falcons, they have a lot of potential to be really good this year, but it's all going to start up front and giving Ryan time and also open up holes for Coleman there. But I got to go with the Colts. So then Week 12, November 29th, 1 o'clock, second straight home game, this one against the Vikings. And I have them beating the Vikings. The Vikings are actually a tough team. They've got a good young defense, and they've got a lot of tools on offense. But in Atlanta, I'm going with the Falcons. I think the Falcons are a tough team, even though I have them losing a lot of games. I still think that they have a very real chance of winning the division. And that leads us to this run right here, where in the last 5 games of the schedule, last 5 games of the schedule, they have 4 games against division rivals, 2 against the Panthers, 1 against the Bucs, and they finish off with the Saints. And in the middle of all that, they have a game against the Jags. But in Week 13, December 6th is when this stretch starts here. And it starts with 3 road games, which is a really tough schedule for them. I mean, to have it all come down to this final stretch, these final 5 weeks, and it's 3 road games to start off this stretch, is doesn't bode well for them. But they got to go to Tampa in Week 13, and I got the Bucs winning that one in Tampa Bay. Then Week 14, December 13th, they go to Carolina to face the Panthers. And I've got Carolina winning that one. And in Week 15, December 20th, they go to Jacksonville, and I had the Jags winning there. And like I said, it's rough the way their schedule works out, that they have this stretch with the 3 road games here. Just back-to-back road games, especially the back-to-back road games against division rivals. They can win some of these games, and they could, if they can split between the road games between the Bucs and Panthers and then go to Jacksonville and win. They said that's the kind of stuff they have to do to win the division, although I think they lose these games. But I do believe they will end the season on a high note, winning 2 straight against division rivals. First in Week 16, December 27th, at home against Carolina. Then Week 17, January 3rd, against New Orleans. So I think they finished strong against those 2 teams. And it puts them in an interesting position. So they said, you're not necessarily going to have to win a lot of games, but I have them at 6-10, and maybe that's enough to actually win this division. I don't think it will be this year, though. I think that was kind of a fluke thing last year, with the Panthers winning with the losing record. They're going to have to be better than I have them projected if they want to win their division. But they very well may be, and they could be. I wouldn't be shocked to see them actually, go potentially 9-7. If they could do that, then they could win the South very easily. Of course, we shall see. We'll see how the Panthers are. So let's see how the Bucs are and the Saints. It'll be a tougher go this year, actually, than last year. And they had a chance last year to win the division, but they fell just shy. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And they've got a lot of potential. The South, like I said, is wide open. Anybody can win. Any one of these 4 teams can win this division, more so than probably any other division in all of football. This one is the one that's the most wide open. It's got the most parity. It's where the teams are probably the most equally matched, where they all have strengths and they all have some glaring weaknesses as well. So it'll be really a matter of if they can play towards their strengths and if they can manage their weaknesses to not have them be overexposed. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions about what you think about their roster and what do you think about their schedule, when you think about our predictions, and what are your predictions for the Falcons in 2015. Thank you very much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. I do hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend, and enjoy all the sports.